Shalom, I'm Jody Hirsh, the Judaic Education Director of the Harry and Rose Samson Family Jewish Community Center, and this is my Moment of Torah. So the Parsha this week is Behar. The translation of the whole beginning is Behar Sinai, on Mount Sinai. It begins this way. The Lord spoke to Moses on Mount Sinai, speak to the Israelite people, and then it tells you some rules. So it makes a point of telling you that this is something from Mount Sinai. Of course, the whole Torah was from Mount Sinai, but it doesn't give you every moment that it's this. And so what is these laws that it's telling us at the very beginning? They're really two important ones. The first one says, when you enter the land that I assign you, the land shall observe a Sabbath of the Lord. 6 years you may sow your field, and 6 years you may prune your vineyard and gather in the field. But in the 7th year, the land shall have a Sabbath of complete rest, a Sabbath of the Lord. So this is the first time that the Torah talks about the sabbatical, which in Hebrew it could be either Shabbaton or the official word is Shemitah. What an amazing idea. The idea is, and this is, look, we're talking 3,000 years ago. The idea is that you let your land lie fallow for a year. Now we know scientifically today that that's the way that the land renews all the nutrients in it. You just let everything kind of rot in the land and become fertilizer. So it's really a radical notion. So that, number one, is a really amazing, very forward-thinking idea. And the second big thing in this Parsha is it talks about not just the sabbatical, but the Jubilee. You shall count off 7 weeks of years, 7 times 7 years, so that the total period of 7 weeks of years gives you a total of 49 years. Then you shall sound the horn loud. In the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month, the Day of Atonement, you shall have the horn sounded throughout your land, and you shall hallow the 50th year. So this is called the Jubilee year, the Yovel in Hebrew, it's called Yovel, the 50th year. And what are you supposed to do on that year that's different? Well, a lot of things. Number one, you're also letting your crops, your fields lie fallow. But the second thing that is really remarkable is in that year, the Jubilee year, you allow all of the slaves to be free. It doesn't matter if they were a slave for you for 50 years or for 1 year. And it doesn't matter even if they told you at the end of their servitude, which was usually 7 years, that they wanted to remain a slave. You set them free every 50 years. What a remarkable notion. And then the third thing is even more remarkable, and not many people pay attention to it. Originally when the children of Israel came into the Promised Land, all the land was divided according to the 12 tribes. And then all of the land within each tribe was divided among the families in that tribe. So the remarkable thing about the Jubilee year is no matter how this land has been bought and sold over the previous 50 years, it all goes back to the original owner. What an incredible idea. I mean, it's almost as though when you bought land in ancient Israel, you were just leasing that land. Furthermore, if you leased this land 1 year before the Jubilee year, then you would only have control of it for just 1 year. So now, that is an amazing kind of democratic, egalitarian idea. The idea is the land doesn't really belong to people. It belongs to God. And therefore, it's only fair for everything to return to its original owners. Now, probably the most famous line in this entire parsha is the following. It says, "Ukratem dror ba'aretz l'chol yoshveha." You shall proclaim liberty throughout the land for all its residents. What an amazing idea, liberty, in that 50th year. And that's the quotation that we have on the Liberty Bell in Washington, D.C., in Philadelphia. Proclaim liberty throughout the land.